Hey everybody, I am Nick and I am excited today because I'm starting my first review. Those of you that are new to the channel, go ahead and if you want, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of great content. It's going to be coming out. It's going to just be pumping it out a lot lately. But this is going to be my first movie review, which I'm going to do at least once a week. Being that it's close to the 4th of July, today I'm going to be reviewing I Know What You Did Last Summer because it takes place on the 4th of July, for those of you that haven't seen it. So basically the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to give kind of a brief, very brief, like a sentence or two overview of the movies, and then just kind of get into what I liked and didn't like about the movies. Now, I'm generally a positive person, so I want to finish with what I did like about the movies, so I'm always going to start with the things I didn't like. And we're going to call those Nick's negatives, and then the positives, we're going to call them Push's positives. See what I did there? I'm so clever, I know. And then what I'm going to do at the end is grade it on a scale of 1 to 10. Because I'm a Halloween guy, we're going to do 1 to 10 pumpkins. So 1 pumpkin being the worst rating, 10 pumpkins being the best rating. So there's not going to be a lot of movies that get 10 pumpkins because I'm generally a pretty tough grader. So let's get right into it. So I Know What You Did Last Summer came out in 1997, and it's about 4 high school graduates who accidentally kill a man in a car accident on the 4th of July, only to be terrorized the next summer by someone that knows what they did last summer. But that's basically it in a nutshell. So let's jump right into the things I didn't like, which I know is a little bit different than how a lot of people review their movies, but we're going to try this out. So right off the bat, and it's very minor, one of the things I didn't like was the fact that the cast just really dates this movie. So the 4 main stars of this movie are Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, and Freddie Prinze Jr. And that just screams 90s to me and probably anyone that watches it. So it's really minor, but it just kind of takes you out of the movie when you watch it, 23 years later. So that's one thing. Also, one of the things was in the middle of this movie, there's a big kind of subplot with Anne Heche. Is that how you pronounce it? Heche's character, where Julie, that's Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, and Helen, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, are at her Anne Heche's house, and they're just trying to find backstory on who could know, who could be responsible for the note saying "I know what you did last summer." And it just kind of takes me out of the movie. There's some good tension there, but it almost seems like the movie's trying to draw you into having Anne Heche be a suspect, when in reality, her brother's the one that died, and it just kind of plays it off really weird, and I wasn't a big fan of that. Keeping with the negatives, there were some moments in this movie where Jennifer Love Hewitt, her acting is just over the top, and it just really takes me out of the movie. And I actually like Jennifer Love Hewitt a lot. I think she's a pretty good actress. But back in 1997 when this came out, she was a little green, a little raw, and some of the scenes just it just kind of took me out of the movie, and it was just really over the top, like I said. The most famous of that being, "What are you waiting for?" I just thought that was kind of just didn't really do it for me. There's also a jump scare at the end of this movie that it just felt unnecessary. It was just kind of pointless. After everything's solved and they figure out what happened, which I'll get into in a second. It's a year later, and Jennifer Love Hewitt's at the dorm room, and she's in the shower, and all of a sudden it says "I know" on the mirror or wall or something, and then all of a sudden, boom, a guy in a fisherman's costume jumps out at the end. Just felt unnecessary. I'm all for a good jump scare at the end. In 97, it was played out at the time, and it's still played out now with some of that shit, especially when it's forced like that. So I wasn't a big fan of that. And then my final negative is going to be with the reveal of the killer at the end of the movie. Now, basically what happens at the end of the movie is you find out that the killer is a guy by the name of Ben Willis, who actually killed Anne Heche's brother that same night. And the guy they hit with their car was Anne Heche's brother, but he was already dead. So it kind of just takes the onus off of the characters for this horrible thing that they did. Even though it was an accident that they hit this guy, they still dumped the body and covered it up, and it basically ruined their lives. They all had all kinds of guilt and shit like that, and it would have been cool to keep exploring that. But the movie lets him off the hook by having this crazy Ben Willis guy be around, and I wasn't a big fan of the movie, kind of letting him off the hook. So, now let's jump right into the positives. My first positive is the setting of this movie. This movie takes place in North Carolina in a small, fisherman's town. And it's just got a coastal vibe to it that is really unique and really cool. I just love the tone of this movie. And it's all set by the setting of where this movie takes place. And it's just a really great job. It provides a lot of great cinematography. I love the beginning of the opening credits. It's kind of got the camera panning over the ocean, and you see kind of mountains in the background, and it says, "I know what you did last summer." It just creates a very ominous vibe, so I'm a big fan of that. There's also a lot of scenes before we find out that this Ben Willis guy is responsible for all this shit. There's a lot of scenes where he's kind of fucking with him. And there's a specific scene with Ryan Felipe where he kind of tries to run him over with his car or something like that. And there's a great scene where Ryan Felipe is kind of on the ground, half out of it, and you see the camera just panning up at the guy in the fisherman's, I almost called that costume, fisherman's outfit. And he's very, it's just very ominous, and I love that you can't see his face, and it's just kind of hidden. Every shot until he's revealed with the killer is very creepy, and the fisherman's outfit is a great outfit for a killer, especially in a town where half the town's wearing fisherman shit. They do a really good job with that. Which brings us to the kills. So this Ben Willis guy, like I said, he's wearing a fisherman's outfit, and he's got a big hook that he uses. And it's very, very menacing. My favorite kill in this movie, because there's a few of decent ones, but the best one is Johnny Galecki from now The Big Bang Theory is what he's known for. Before back then he was probably known for Roseanne. But he basically gets a hook shoved right through the bottom of his fucking chin, and it's just badass and awesome. And right before that you got all this kind of smoke and fog over there. Just a really, really cool scene. So they did a really good job with the kills. There's also one of my favorite chase scenes in any horror movie ever is in this movie, and it basically involves Sarah Michelle Gellar running all around town trying to avoid the killer fisherman, and it's just a great fucking chase scene. I'm not going to spoil anything for you on that, but just check it out. It's one of the best chase scenes that's ever been done. So overall, really enjoyed this movie, even though I spent a lot more time talking about the negatives. I'm a big fan. As far as movies like Scream that came out right after Scream, I think this was the best of the bunch. And overall, I'd give this a 7 out of 10 pumpkins. So let me know what you think. And like I said, let me know, subscribe to this channel if you like content like this. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks.